I mean, I love JoJo, but really, really fast. So this is I really like this channel.
Okay.
Turn on the subtitles. Okay, they're on.
We
Okay,
will.
just check it.
Okay.
They're on. So we're good.
Okay, this is Viva Reveria.
Viva Reveria.
Thank you.
Viva Reveria. There you go.
Giorno explains King Crimson. I know nothing of this channel.
A video by Zipper Noises.
Let's check it out.
Time to explain JoJo's. And this weird ass stand.
Mumble, 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 mumble.
So I would like to thank you all for coming. My name is Giorno.
I'm a little upset. Oh wait, is he doing the accent?
And I would like
No, I'm a little upset. He didn't put on an Italian accent. Shame.
to
I mean, he's Japanese and Italian, so...
Diavolo. How does it work? Well, here's what we know. Its strength lies in its ability to skip
Are you
forward in
cooking,
time,
motherly?
more specifically, erasing a period of up to 10 seconds. Anybody in the vicinity of King Crimson's attack will not remember what happens to them, nor what they did in this time period.
Hold on, I gotta turn on my noise
there is a
canceling.
radius on this attack,
I was about to say, please,
Ted, stop playing fucking Cooking Mama in the courtroom.
Anyway, the exception to this is King Crimson's user himself, Diavolo. During this period of skipped time, Diavolo has free reign to move around, reposition himself, usually behind the opponent, to strike from behind. However, there is a catch. During skipped time, all he can do is watch as others take their predetermined actions. He cannot influence them during skipped time in any way. Hence, he always resumes time before making his strike. He can only... Wait a minute. He watches others take their predetermined actions, ones they were fated to do.
I agree with you. As someone who has seen Part 5 and loves Part 5, King Crimson is convoluted.
Awesome, weird-ass stand who is just really bad and has some big holes that need to be filled.
It does
This
not...
is-
It does not... Like... It... How they
And
describe
then
it
there's
doesn't
the argument if Epitaph is a separate stand from King Crimson. And I'm just like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah... I love JoJo, but some of their powers are so complicated that I don't think the writer understands fully the concepts that he's working with. And it just, it leaves a lot of holes. And it's like, okay, but how does this work then? How does, I'll be honest, King Crimson...
That's where I want to design a stand.
Welcome, Blue Fox Overlord.
Me at IKEA.
I mean, most of JoJo is understandable, Blue, if you just, give it a second. But there are some stands that are like, okay, you wanted...
Like King Crimson.
You wanted a character that can go up against God, so you created God. This is an example, and in Part 6, the main enemy there is also like, oh, you have these insane powers, hero? Well, I can do whatever I need to make you look stupid.
Exactly.
Honestly, I've heard JoJo's Bizarre Adventure being described as two kids playing pretend by trying to make the most powerful thing imaginable.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and he's about to get into Epitaph.
Yes.
Epitaph allows Diavolo to see a vision into the future. A constant running feed showing off everyone's fated actions. This window into the future is absolute. Possible to misinterpret, but absolute. The one exception is Diavolo himself, who at any point can choose to skip time, ignoring his fate. Alright, so is everyone following so far? That's fine.
No.
Let's go over some examples. Here is a comprehensive list of every time King Crimson has had a recorded use. I feel the need to do this because if I didn't, I can't claim my explanation applies to every possible use case. There's 39 of them, and I don't want to be here forever, so I'll have my associate hand out a pamphlet with each of them in detail for your own perusal. There's a link to an unlisted video in the YouTube info card for the rest of you. What? Now, while you're reading through all those, Who's Doppio? Wait, are you done reading already? Cases 15 through 22 all refer to a Doppio. Who is he? Yes, I know.
Thanks, Rohan Kishibe. Shut the fuck up.
Doppio is essentially Diavolo again. A split identity, two souls inhabiting the same body. Is Epitaph Doppio's stand? What? Doppio only uses Epitaph during the Metallica fight. Is that because Epitaph is Doppio's stand? Is that a talking turtle? His name is Polnareff and he's a tortoise. All tortoises can accurately be called turtles. Hey.
I mean, that actually is a good theory. The reason he has two stands is because he has multiple personalities.
Yeah, I to be honest, I kind of don't like the
Hope everyone
multiple
enjoys
souls
it here.
in one body
Please
thing. I'm
follow
pretty
the
sure it's just a
stream.
personality thing. But hold on. I had notes here. Hold on.
Oh my
I
god!
didn't realize that JoJo was
I'm
going to
joking,
take
I'm
some
joking.
notes from Clock Tower Ghost Hat.
What?
Did you remember the projector, Kenny?
But I do remember seeing a lot of people arguing about,
was
oh
a
no, this is a separate
joke
stand from King Crimson, or no,
about
it's the same stand.
Clock.
I understood it was a
Clock
joke. I just
tower.
didn't understand the reference.
Clock Tower Ghost Head literally revolves around one soul possessing a girl's body that you can summon at will. One person refuses to use weapons of any kind. The other will just beat the shit out of whatever he wants.
Oh, okay, cool. I like that.
You see
concept.
clock towers go.
Okay,
That makes sense.
Fuck.
Kenny, do you want
I missed my
Kenny, do you
perfect
want to say
score.
some of your notes, or should we keep going?
No, I was joking about the notes.
So some turtles live on land.
I already
You
said
know,
my
this is
quote-unquote
definitely a
note.
turtle. It has sharp webbed claws. Might even be female.
Hey, don't judge.
Sit down. I never got up.
You.
I have heard this Epitaph is Doppio's stand theory in the past. However, there is no material we have confirming this to be true. It is far more likely Diavolo, the more dominant identity, simply lent this aspect of his ability
Like
to the
Moon
less
Knight.
dominant identity. Diavolo even directly states as such in a conversation he has with Doppio. Doppio needs permission from Diavolo to use King Crimson's abilities, but Diavolo never needs permission from Doppio to use Epitaph. How do you even know this when nobody else saw Diavolo's perspective? Please stop interrupting. Hey, you're the one pretending this framing device has any semblance of canonicity. No, Who are you anyway? Koichi's +1.
You got quite the impressive promotion since I last saw you, sir.
Oh my goodness. Look, has everybody finished reading through the pamphlet?
Yes.
Good! I'd like to move on from this extremely irrelevant topic. You just read through a comprehensive list of everything we definitively know King Crimson can do. Just so we're on the same page, can everyone agree that is true? No.
Yes.
Right, who said that? I heard that. No, spit it out.
It's
I
Rohan.
did.
Of course
And
it's
why?
Rohan.
We can't assume King Crimson can do all those things you stated.
What the hell are you talking about? Give me one reason why I shouldn't throw you out right now, Mr. Contrarian!
Case number 6. King Crimson showed Bruno his future self. This is an ability he never uses again, shown early enough so we can't assume this ability was fully fleshed out by this point. It's very reasonable to assert this can't be part of his full skill set by the end of the series and instead was an early idea for an ability that got scrapped midway through the story. I see.
Which is very common in JoJo.
Yeah.
Again, he's a great
Quite the
idea
bizarre
guy.
adventure.
He's not a great finisher.
My OC can beat up your OC.
My
Sometimes.
MC is a pyro from TF2. Of course yours
My
can keep
space
it up.
dad can beat up your space dad.
That's what it is.
Well, we might as well start off here then. Case 6. Bruno seeing a vision of himself. How can we explain this? You are right in saying it's
Who
not
wins,
something
Dio or
Diavolo
Megamind?
ever does again. However, there are circumstances
Mega
present in
Mind.
this encounter which are not present
sure.
in any of his other encounters. Diavolo had already thought he'd won, so decided to divulge an aspect of his ability to the already defeated Bruno, something he would never do in any other circumstance. What was the aspect of his ability he divulged? The ability to see a vision of the future, and what does he use to see into the future, as seen in later cases? That's right, Epitaph. We can likely conclude that Diavolo used Epitaph to provide the vision of Bruno's future self, but instead of projecting it onto the underside of his hair, he projected it in front of Bruno. You can't assume an image is being literally projected onto Diavolo's hair. If it were, how is he able to tell the future even when his hair is tied up in its first encounter? Case 2. Hey, I didn't do that. Plus, there are numerous points in which Diavolo is in a crowd of opponents using his Epitaph ability freely. Cases 17 and 37. While none of them, not Risotto, not Trish, not Mista, noticed Diavolo.
I do love the pouty lips on Metallica's
10 out of 10.
Looking
Oh,
at his
she
hair,
just-
nor seeing or mentioning the Epitaph vision at all. It's more likely that
I never
vision
thought
being
it was
projected onto the hair
projecting
is not
onto his
literal,
hair.
and is
I
instead
always
a
thought that it
visual
was like in
representation of the
a vision he has in his peripheral view.
Yeah, I always thought it was like just a mental thing.
Yeah.
exclusively for the viewer's benefit, so that the story doesn't become
My neighbors are
entirely
loudly playing music
incomprehensible
next
as
door.
Diavolo sees things the viewer cannot. Well, first of all, who says Diavolo's hair isn't down in his first encounter? All that's visible is a vague silhouette, and although there is definitely a shape to his body and visible details in his suit, it's intentionally very unrevealing. Everything important is cloaked in shadow. Perhaps his hair is actually down enough for him to observe visions through it. And even if that weren't the case and the projections on his hair aren't literal, who says that's not something he can't also do? That or everyone watching him use Epitaph just didn't see the projections on his hair. It's possible that very definitely wouldn't be their first priority, would it? So how are you going to explain Bruno?
I just love I do love the idea that these people are trying to kill this man and they just see him like look over on his shoulder to his hair and like either
that's somehow blowing in the wind.
They either see a projection on his hair or they just see him looking at his hair just like checking himself out in the middle of a fight.
This is like the
sort
sort
of
of
like
like
reverse Sword Art Online, where like
It's
in that universe you can't see UI elements that get obscured by your fucking hair.
Yeah.
Watching his past body fade away like a ghost.
Mango was saying something I
inconsistent with
interrupted.
the instant jump.
Mango?
Incoming ad break.
Were you saying
I
something?
interrupted you.
I guess. Oh.
Okay.
And time seen in every
yeah.
other time skip in the series. Well, one valid interpretation is Bruno did jump forward instantaneously after seeing the vision of his future self. But we, as a viewer, see the scene from Bruno's perspective. Someone seeing the world warp around him, no knowledge of how the ability at play works, so comes with it a mass amount of confusion and disorientation. To him, it was as if he saw his old body fade away, when in actuality he just saw his future self. Then time skipped and suddenly he was that vision he was just observing. Or King Crimson's ability wasn't fully fleshed out yet. Thank you for your contribution. I would like to move on. There are many cases we haven't talked about yet, and we haven't even talked in depth about his most important ability. His ability to skip through time. How does it work? The best way I can put it is this. Everyone has actions they are fated to do. Certain stand abilities make use of this fact. King Crimson's Epitaph forecast shows everyone's fated actions, which all follow basic cause and effect. In several instances, the cause for these effects is literally Diavolo looking at Epitaph's vision in the first place. If it weren't for...
Which, that's where it gets confusing, because paradoxically, if he should not be able, if it's a fated thing, that means it should be able to happen without the ability of King Crimson coming into nature, because King Crimson is outside of time, so his ability, his actions should not be fated. So
Crimson.
him already being fated doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
this, Doppio wouldn't have...
Go figure. Time travel and time skipping, there's a reason why a lot of people don't do it, because it's convoluted and you're just going to hurt yourself. Sorry, JoJo writer. You're not one of the ones that makes it
You're
work.
interrupted.
Scribble
To
notes.
cut off Risotto's foot in case 18, and Diavolo wouldn't know what path to take to dodge all the...
I kind of love this King Crimson. Grr, I'm angry. Look at
So
my little
angry.
stuffy hands. Grr.
Very gumpy.
Very good.
It has no hands. They don't have hands.
He has a little teapot.
Like,
Aren't they
naturally.
clothes?
Here's my little teapot, store it and stout. Pour me
Stored.
out. I will see your fated future and kill you.
Stork.
In case 35.
Thank you, my friend, for pointing out
At
my...
any point, Diavolo can choose to use King Crimson to skip up to 10
You never even
seconds
said
into the
stork.
future, in which everyone's fated actions, as shown by Epitaph,
I just
Oh,
guess
she's
that-
being a
place.
dope.
The one exception to this is Diavolo himself, who
You are-
instead has the freedom to move around
you are
to any
knowledgeably
point he
stupid.
pleases, and
Thank you.
anything that would have happened to him is entirely ignored. This is how he manages to avoid Aerosmith's bullets.
You
in
are
case 23,
statistically
as they were
stupid.
fated to pierce through his body, killing both him
You're
and
knowledgeable
Risotto.
in how
Yes,
dumb
I
you
am
are.
still mad. Thanks for asking. And this is also why King Crimson is required to resume time before he makes any attack, as any action he makes beforehand will phase through any opponent like a ghost. That doesn't... Don't worry, I've got this. That doesn't make sense, sir. What's the problem? Well, you see, it's the blood thing, sir. How is it Diavolo can blind Polnareff by flinging blood into his eyes? You said anything Diavolo does can't affect anybody in the middle of the time skip, but here's Diavolo doing just that. The blood doesn't ghost through Polnareff's body like Aerosmith's bullets. It's landing directly on his body. The same thing happens when he flings blood in your own eyes right before you defeated him with your own amazing abilities, sir. I was expecting someone to bring that up. Well, you see, there's a very easy explanation for that one. Just like how my blood stopped being part of my own body after Diavolo cut my arm off, allowing me to turn my droplets into ants to eat through the shaft of the stand arrow. Oh, just like how Josuke's blood stopped being part of his body,
Bro's just
allowing him to
saying
strike Kira down with a piece of flying glass. Remember that one, sir?
I don't get any of this.
Shut up about it. Well, Diavolo's blood stopped being a part of him once it left his body, and although he wouldn't normally be able to touch another's body, his blood, which is not part of his body, can. How about that? No.
That is really dumb.
It's dumb, but it does make a tiny bit of sense. Not entire sense, but just a little bit.
So
It could definitely be explained a bit better. Like, what did it had?
It's
So-
like
no.
my fan favorite character, Knack.
So here's the thing.
Fucking hell.
Blood, I'm skipping that whole shit because I have this idea. No, blood leaving your body doesn't change the fact that it is DNA cells connected to your, like,
Is it a part
to
of
your
you, though?
being. Yes, it is a part of you. It is a part
It's like
of...
separate now, so I don't know about that, G.
Okay, then we're getting into, like, what is the core of Giovanni? Is the core his heart? Then chances are his bones are not connected, so his bones shouldn't. Like, it's really stupid to be like, what is Giovanna? Is Giovanna a certain aspect of him? Because if everything that is the DNA of Giovanna, his blood leaving his body would still be Giovanna. You see this in, like, cloning and, like, when characters, like, have, like, regenerative abilities. And, like, their characters turn into copies of them. They don't turn into a different being altogether. It's a straight copy of that person because the DNA is still that person. Just because the blood leaves the body doesn't change that it is still a part of that body. Science,
It was.
motherfucker.
It's out now.
That is a really dumb way at looking at how genetics and science and how the body works. Just admit that you are stupid, the writer of JoJo.
I mean, it's from there.
Oh, that still doesn't make
It's like
any
if I
sense,
moved to Kentucky, I'm
Hauser.
not
I mean,
from
I thought
Kentucky.
The whole point of the
But now I'm there.
That is a social construct. That's not a genetic science construct.
No, I don't.
It's
We
It's a
as
metaphor.
humans make up what it means to be from a
Just
place.
watch the
So, like,
video,
if
girly.
it's not connected to his body, like,
Yeah.
that it's not touching him.
Yeah.
That's-
It's no longer a
Wow.
part of him.
Hang on,
Hey,
hang on.
You're
Can
right.
he throw something?
He throws blood. His blood.
No, just pick. Hypothetically, could he just throw something, like anything?
That's actually a good question.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I
Because
don't,
if he can throw
Mhm.
something and have that work, then he should be able to throw blood.
I don't think we
Yeah.
really saw that, did we?
I don't know. I don't think we did. So how we stand is, in theory, he should be able to, but we've not seen proof of it.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's-
let's just assume that he should be able to throw an object, even if he can't directly affect anybody
Like, it
with
stops,
his own
like,
body.
midway, but it still has the momentum in a sense, because anything that is
Z,
moving
Z,
will
Z,
still
Z.
move,
Okay.
even in frozen time.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
So by technicality, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
D&D peasant missile.
time skip, well, is this all based on what's fated to happen? That should mean anything that defies that fate, which would be the actions Diavolo chooses to take, should be entirely ignored, right? By that logic, there's no way the blood he flings from his body should be able to land on anything, unless that was something that was fated to happen. But if that were the case, you and Polnareff would have closed your eyes if blood was being flung towards it, right? But you clearly didn't, meaning your fate itself didn't see blood getting flung into your eyes, meaning it wasn't fated to happen, meaning that blood shouldn't have been able to land on either you or Polnareff at all.
Again, this just goes back to the whole fated idea of his power is kind of convoluted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it
looks
did,
cool.
though. The
So-
blood landed on Polnareff's eyes in the time skip. There's not really much of a contradiction here. All it means is although things ghost through Diavolo's body, things are no longer attached to his body can
That's what I'm
still touch
saying.
things. It's not like it affects Polnareff
I was-
during the time
we've
skip.
been
He's
saying
acting
this,
as
but-
if he wasn't blinded at all. But
It's-
when time resumes,
Yeah.
he will suddenly find himself blinded because
I
the actions that were
said
fated
this.
to happen mid-time skip
I agree
proceed
with
as
you.
fated
Yeah.
with no changes,
Yeah.
with the period afterwards then resuming as normal, now with a blinded Polnareff. It all checks out. What if Diavolo...
I've gone cross-eyed.
Wielding a spear.
Oh, no,
I'm listening to this while playing Cooking Mama and can still barely understand it.
oh no!
Are you like 8?
cross-eyed.
I mean, he types out all the subtitles.
Like, what counts
is it
as being
she?
part of
Okay.
Diavolo's body? Why
Thank
is
you.
he...
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
YouTuber.
Okay, now they're getting into what I was talking about.
Okay. I do like
What are you
the
talking about?
tangent you were on though.
Read it.
You've been saying shit I haven't listened to.
Well, Mango, that's your fault. Read it and literally saying what I'm saying.
Okay.
Why is his blood
Counts
part of his
as being-
body
yeah,
until it
that's
leaves
cool.
him? Why do his clothes
I like
count
that
as
Did you
it's
say it all
being
again? I
They'd
wasn't
have to be,
listening.
or else they...
Okay, I'll do it in a British accent like him. What counts as being a part of Diavolo's body? Why is his blood a part of his body until it leaves him, Governor?
part of his body until it leaves him. Why do his
Silver,
clothes count?
silver,
Yeah,
silver.
yeah.
Koichi is not British.
I know he's Japanese, but the guy making the video is British. That's yeah.
Britland.
Why does his clothes count
Portland,
as
the
part
British
of his
amusement
body?
park.
They'd have to
But
be.
Actually, no,
in the
that's the
point-
Peppa Pig amusement park.
They'd have to be,
What?
or else they'd fall off the body.
That's real.
As part of his body. They'd have to be, or else they'd fall
JoJo
off
on that
the
beat,
instant he
Wait,
Peppa.
I
dies.
thought
Turns
the
ethereal.
black
Well,
thing
yeah,
he
his
wears
clothes
underneath his
obviously
normal
JoJo
JoJo shirt.
on that shit.
I thought that was a tattoo for the
Anyway.
longest time, to be honest.
It did look like a tattoo, but yeah,
Like
no.
Bruno's, actually.
But no, they're making my point for me. Like,
Exactly.
You didn't have to do all that, Silver.
okay, Mango, let me tell you how a video reaction works. Sometimes you say stuff that might happen, but you try to get your point across for entertainment.
Can I tell you
value.
something?
Something.
I know that. Watch the video.
No, no. You know what,
No.
Mango?
to do my job.
I am doing my job by reacting and commenting.
React.
What's in his pocket?
React
What
harder.
he's holding? What if he's wielding a spear? Why a spear?
Not
He's
because you're a bunny.
Because spears are cool.
wielding a spear and tries to swipe someone with it in the middle of a time skip. It obviously wouldn't do anything because he'd be affecting fate with his own actions. He'd just go through them. But what if he threw the spear? Does it stop being part of his body just like his blood?
See?
Would
There it is.
therefore stab anyone he throws it at? Why doesn't he therefore have a ton of spears on him? Why doesn't he use spears like all...
Birdie didn't think about it.
I don't know why, but the idea of
Hold
just,
on, the Henry Stickmin like fucking bit of JoJo makes even more sense now because they said in the fucking fail text that they're not sure if it made any sense, but it was cool.
Exactly.
Yes.
pretty much that is
I,
just JoJo.
I believe there is some sort of force where if it's cool enough, it happens.
That's
That's
JoJo.
called the rule of cool.
That's
Exactly.
JoJo.
That's real,
The
dude.
rule of cool.
Well,
That's why I have a cool
I
shrine.
guess-
My
No,
room.
no. Okay, no. The spear and
I'm cool, I swear.
maybe the stuff in his pockets wouldn't even follow him in
Am I
skip
cool?
time at all. We never even see Diavolo having any objects on his possession.
But in that case, then his clothes should
Oh.
come off every time he type skips. we should be seeing a lot more fan fiction of a naked Diavolo if that's how his part.
But
Brody just
technically,
wants
as
to
long
see
as
that, I
he
guess.
dies in the end, it would technically be canon. So,
Look, I just wanted to get the idea of naked Diavolo out there.
and you can think, I just love the meme of if Diavolo dies in the end, then it's canon to JoJo. Because
God
I
damn.
see some crazy shit, and I love it. And
With
beautiful.
his blood being one of the rare exceptions. And his clothes? Yes, his clothes are also... Even if his clothes were made up of small, sharp objects. Okay, what if his clothes were made up of a series of chainmail-like knives? That way he could take individual knives and throw them during time skip, in which they would no longer
That'd
be
be
part of his
really
body and
uncomfortable
affect
to
other
wear.
bodies like his blood does.
I love
Bro should go to the Met Gala.
Someone, the bodies he throws the knives at wouldn't even realize they were stabbed until time was resumed again, in which they would go, "Oh, I've been stabbed so suddenly!" But the point is that that's not what he does. Maybe he tried that too. Maybe he can't bring sharp objects into skip time. Maybe he very specifically wears clothes that don't fall off his body when he skips time. Why doesn't he smell the people in his special non-falling off clothes? He clearly has more than one outfit. Just skip time and throw a shirt on everyone. That's not the... This is...
Okay, I will be honest, is that with his like weird like black lingerie shirt that he has, it is very tight to his body from what I see.
I'm pretty sure that it's a mesh T-shirt.
I'm pretty sure it's at Spencer's too. Hold on.
Oh yeah,
I would love to wear it.
I'll be fucking prettier.
I just love the idea of Diavolo has a bunch of just purple blankets to throw at his opponents.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry, I felt the SpongeBob
like the
image
Nets
again.
and abiotic factor.
My power! Go to sleep, peekaboo!
It's all irrelevant! It's not really reasonable to assume this is a problem he has at all, though, since nothing
My
like
power
this is
took
ever
a
brought up
fucking
in the
nap.
text of the source material.
Oh my god. Part 8. The god of napping. Oh god. I would love to be his friend.
Okay! So maybe Diavolo just didn't think to bring a spear into skip time then! Well, then he's an idiot. Sure, he's an idiot! Jeez!
He is an idiot. What guys?
Sir? Yes, Koichi. Even if the spear... Please stop talking about the spear. No, this won't take long. Even if the spear isn't able to interact with people because it phases through them like a ghost, what's stopping him from resuming time while the spear is still inside them? That's still a stabbed body, whether he needed to pierce flesh or not. You know what? Two possibilities. One, Diavolo is in fact a massive idiot who seriously never thought to try to do that, which I guess is on the table now.
Is he? He's kind of like seen in the show as like a mastermind and tactician.
I mean, yeah.
To be fair, if you plan everything and then just never test it before, like, you do the plan, you know, even if you plan ahead, over-optimization is still a problem that plagues even modern game development. I do
This is the greatest.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense.
Or two, the spear force ejects itself from the body he's trying to pierce as he resumes time.
Okay, now I'm just imagining Bruno being turned into a human cannon as soon as time goes. He just spits out the spear for his belly button.
Aries blood.
JoJo fun.
Maybe the
JoJo
spear
funny.
shatters, or some other fourth thing. Maybe it's just me, but I don't think it's very possible to speculate on the edge cases of a spear that doesn't exist. Can Diavolo walk through walls? What? I mean, if he turns into an ethereal ghost when he initiates a time skip, what are the limits on that? If he phases through things like Aerosmith's bullets, what's stopping him from walking through a wall?
True.
I mean, the ground. If he were able to phase through walls, he'd phase through the ground. So, there's some sort of threshold where some things phase through Diavolo and other things are entirely solid. Maybe it depends on if the object is moving or not. Technically, the whole world is constantly in motion, hurtling through space at thousands of miles.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up, you nerd.
What if a building is collapsing and he's inside it? Does he not get crushed by the rubble? Well, I mean, I guess he might. Ah, here you go. Another potential explanation. What determines whether or not Diavolo will phase through something is if what he's interacting with has a soul or not. Anything without one, like walls and the floor, are entirely solid to him. Perfect! An explanation that even jives with several stands' notable connection to souls, like mine or Chariot Requiem. Certainly a lot more preferable to an explanation that introduces arbitrary exceptions with no basis or precedent in the source material for when said explanation so happens to feature some sort of contradiction. Do animals have souls? Yes, of course they do. Do plants have souls? Oh, zit. Do plants have souls? I refuse to engage in this hypothetical! Chariot Requiem didn't interact with any plants. Do bullets have souls? No!
Does my pizza have a soul? Does
Does the
maybe
floor have a
I have
soul?
no
Hold
soul.
on. Does the ground have a soul?
I mean,
Is it?
if gods exist, then Gaia, the soul of the earth, would exist.
Hang on. What about artwork?
What?
What about artwork? If artwork is made with soul, does that count?
Shit! Oh, you're
That is
right,
a weird
Elphick.
one.
Oh,
I don't know.
Can Giovanni phase through generative AI artwork?
Can Diavolo phase through generative AI art? The
Is-
answer will shock you.
I love sludge posting.
I don't know. That's the.
Does
That's
Diavolo
the answer.
keep a portrait of the Mona Lisa so he can throw it at his opponents to phase through?
This happens in Honor Among Thieves.
Good movie.
What?
Yeah,
I really like that movie.
yeah. No, so chat. We watched
It made me really happy.
on Wednesdays. We have movie night, and we watched Honor Among Thieves a couple weeks ago. And yeah,
Such a great movie,
they have a portal gun-esque item where you can put two portals in space time,
Yes.
and he uses
That's a real
one
thing
portal.
you can do in D&D too.
Yeah, no. He uses one portal on a painting so he can get into a carriage.
They smuggle the painting into a carriage.
It was a really cool, like, special effects scene.
It's pretty
That
tense
was,
too.
that was fucking peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do hope they make a second movie. It seems like it's in the air.
Yeah.
So he should have been
Goodness.
shot by Aerosmith's bullets.
Those were stand bullets!
Oh, you hear that? Doesn't count if they're stand bullets. Nothing arbitrary about that.
Alright, fine. It's not the souls thing, but he definitely can't walk through walls.
Is the walls breaking away thing diegetic? You know, when he activates his ability, all the terrain around him collapses and breaks away. If the walls aren't there anymore, then what's stopping him from walking past one and then resuming time? Look, Diavolo's ability is skipping through time. He only ever uses it for time manipulation purposes. If he could walk through walls, he would. But he doesn't, so he can't. The terrain thing might be diegetic, it might not be. It doesn't matter, because either way, Diavolo can't walk through walls. I refuse to dwell on this any further. What happened?
Is Diavolo Kitty Pryde from the X-Men?
What happens if Diavolo chooses to ignore what he does in his vision? You know, there wasn't supposed to be any audience participation. I had, like, a whole thing set up.
Oh, shit. Okay, we should get going then. He doesn't want our opinion.
Oh.
Oh,
Ooh. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, well, let's move on.
no. Guys.
I'm sorry for interacting with your presentation. We'll all leave.
Okay.
Well, I'll leave you 20-year-old bitch.
Okay, I can't...
Where?
Chat, I can't fully remove me from the screen, but you get the idea of the joke.
Go into OBS, drag yourself away.
That's what I'm doing. I'm trying, but it's not fully working. I can only get halfway.
Grow up.
Just make it look like you're leaving or something.
That's what I was trying to do.
Just like,
Gotta be fucking
Okay, okay.
just leave, dude.
Okay, I'm gonna start in the
Oh.
middle. Well, time to go. Do 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 do. And look,
Just
Why
end
are
the
so
stream.
many of the recipes in
it's
Cooking
not
Mama
halfway.
2 so much harder than the ones in
Meet me
3?
halfway.
meet me halfway.
And it's for the dumbest reasons.
Okay, let's try to finish this. I need to go pee.
I could just keep going as I had originally planned. Alright, I'll bite. You may elaborate. If Diavolo watches himself moving to the right in an Epitaph vision, what's stopping him from moving to the left instead? Well, he can't. At least not without using time skip to ignore his fate, but we're talking about an example where he doesn't. Epitaph's vision is inextricably tied to fate, and if he's fated to move to the right, then he must move to the right. If he wants to move to the left, some sort of force or circumstance will result in him moving to the right instead. Well, can't he just change his fate? Doesn't seem too difficult to me. I see the issue here. This is a bit of a misconception. Fate in this universe is very explicitly defined. Little to nothing can change it. You are proposing whether or not Epitaph's vision.
We did
has
learn
the
this
chance
with
to
the
be
sleepy
inaccurate.
guy.
It cannot.
Correct.
And
We
like,
did learn this with Miles
The
Morales.
Rock.
Case, originally it shows
Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing, Mango.
nah, I'ma do my own thing.
foot being cut off when Risotto
Silver,
when
the dog
result
one.
being cut off. There is no inaccuracy in this vision. It was originally and always Risotto's foot. Doppio's fate never changed, and Epitaph
I can
was
go
very
for
Ordered,
wrong.
the
I mean,
gendered
it
one.
couldn't
I
be
can go
wrong,
for a good
because
risotto
otherwise
right
the
now.
synergy between Epitaph and King Crimson's
I could go for,
time would
like,
be less than
tap
useless.
water,
The whole
actually.
point
That
of
feels
Epitaph
nice.
is it allows Diavolo to know when
You
to
do you.
use the time skip ability and what will happen when
Late
time
night tap
resumes.
water is fucking rejuvenating.
I gotta add
So
fluoride to
Diavolo
my
can't
tap
interact
water.
with things during
I
skip
gotta
time?
add more lead
Yes.
than
So
my
how's he
house
able to
already
pick up all
has.
the things during skip time when the hotel lady intrudes on him? Oh my god. All
I gotta
let's
season
explain
my
this.
water with
Case 12.
small
Hotel
metals.
cleaning lady intrudes on Diavolo. Within the space of a time skip, he manages to pack up all his things and escape. However, by all accounts, this shouldn't be possible due to his inability to interact with
Dog,
any object
shut.
during skipped time. At this point,
You got fought skinny?
Oh no, the dogs are barking.
No, dogs.
Oh, okay.
I would like
The
to
dog.
propose a new element into my explanation of this ability. Diavolo's own fated actions. Specifically, what he was going to do if he didn't skip time. This, I feel, is the only way we can explain several use cases of the time skip ability. Anything that was fated to happen will happen, including if Diavolo was the one to influence it. How did he grab all his things and leave the hotel? That's the thing. He didn't. His fate was to grab all of his things and leave, but he skipped past that point in time. So although he erased that period of time from happening, the results of his original actions still remained. Theoretically, if we were to see this from Diavolo's perspective, he might see all the hotel objects floating out the window as the original fate Diavolo would be doing. Unfortunately, we never see his perspective during these key moments, so we can only speculate. However, this explanation does account for every possibility. Yes, even including, dare I say, the Colosseum Arch incident. Case 31. No, Diavolo cannot choose to stab my body in the middle of skipped time, but he must have seen through Epitaph that he was already fated to do so.
But if the only way that you could stab Giovanna was using your ability, then the fate should not be able to use your ability to go outside of time as a fated time.
And skipped that period of time, only leaving the result. The result being what he would have done even though he skipped past that period of time. Any results from skipped time that affect his own body are completely ignored, but as for everybody else, say my body getting stabbed, the result remains.
Incoming ad break.
Oh no, what now? Or the more likely answer, the writer conflated King Crimson's time skip ability and the world's time stop ability and didn't think too hard.
Yep, bingo. Yep, that show's over. That's literally it. That is it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Hey, can
Yeah.
I?
Yeah.
About
Hi.
Oh, JoJo's ability, right. It would make perfect sense if it was as if it were time stop being used. Should I even bother asking? Time stop is comparatively extremely straightforward. Time stops and the user can act within it for a short period of time, while from outsider perspectives, it's as if their actions were instantaneous. This conflation explains cases 1, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12, 13, 14, 24, 25, and 33. Alright, you smart aleck. Which are all cases that don't make any sense when you consider several seconds of time have passed between them, but make perfect sense if you just pretend he used news to the world instead. It's rather convenient that all of these cases are ones we don't see from Diavolo's perspective, isn't it? It's because it wouldn't make any sense if we did. Well, you can't say that for absolute certain. Say, for example, case 24. Polnareff's flashback where he fights Diavolo on top of the cliff. Diavolo does what he always does. Skips time, repositions himself behind the opponent, and strikes as time resumes. Entirely consistent with how his ability is explained and how it is seen in the rest of the series. Polnareff begins the swipe at King Crimson, but before the swipe is finished, Diavolo appears behind Polnareff as if no time had passed. King Crimson is all about erasing time. How do you explain that? Well, regarding that, I can explain this one. What? Who said that? I did. And who are you? I'm you from a parallel dimension. One where things went slightly differently. How the hell am I talking to a parallel dimension version of myself? Oh, there was this funny pink man and whatever, it's not important.
Check out the Pando Pet Cafe to play with
Man.
me.
I know who that is.
Anime adaptation, so it's not necessarily fair to call it a mistake in the source material. Same can be said for case 14.
I love
the alleyway
pink
the
guy.
fortune teller was killed in was entirely cleaned up in front of the little child bystander's eyes. Didn't happen in the manga. Okay, sure, I guess. That. As for the other cases, I mean, it's very possible everyone was fated to stand exactly where they were for the duration of the time skip. It's not necessarily a contradiction, just a bit of an improbability. Also, although it's a bit inconsistent, debatably Polnareff is a tortoise in my universe, especially if you take the Eyes of Heaven adaptation into account. Good. In fact, I am
Heaven
glad
adaptation.
even. Sir? Yes, Koichi? What about the elevator scene? What do you mean, what about the elevator scene? Well, your explanation for how Diavolo can interact with objects in the middle of skip time is if he was fated to do it himself. Correct. So the only way he could steal Trish from the elevator is if he was fated to do it and erase that bit of time. Correct. So, what about Bruno? What about Bruno? I mean, we have to talk about Bruno. What was he doing during the...
We don't talk about Bruno.
No, we don't talk about Bruno.
Thank you. I'll see myself out.
period of skip time. From our perspective, he must have stood entirely still, or else he would have realised time had been skipped. But why would he stand perfectly still, sir? Well, nobody can keep track of Diavolo in the middle of skip time, so they followed their fated actions while Diavolo can move wherever he wants. Nobody realises he's doing so. But sir, that's only ethereal Diavolo. The Diavolo that can't interact with anything. Diavolo's fated actions are what can interact with things in skip time.
Yes! Yeah, I'm glad they're bringing it up. Will we get an answer? Probably not.
Which would be the Diavolo that can chop Trish's hand off and take her out of the elevator. The Diavolo that Bruno would be able to see. He wouldn't remember what exactly happened when time resumes like normal, but surely he wouldn't stand absolutely still as Diavolo breaks into the elevator, dismembers his daughter, and leaves out the roof, right? He'd either be staring at the dismembered hand, staring at the hole in the roof, or already following Diavolo. But he's not. He's staring blankly at the elevator wall. How does that make sense, sir? The hole in the roof isn't even there in the manga, by the way. Okay, right. Okay. Well, what if Bucciarati didn't move from his...
It took me a second, but I just realized the second Giovanna is manga Giovanni.
Yeah, it's manga colored Giovanna.
Okay.
spot, because his movements were predetermined by what he intended to do beforehand. He didn't know Diavolo would burst through the ceiling and steal his daughter, so... It was like he was on autopilot. He autopiloted through the time skip, and...
That's not... Now you're bringing autopilot... That autopilot and faded are not the same thing. Turning your brain off and going on instinct is not the same as a... Oh, God, my brain.
Didn't have the chance to react until the time skip was finished. That's also why...
Just think about it.
In
I don't want it. My brain
Diavolo
hurts.
was at the bottom of the stairs, and
Why are you
despite
watching
him
this?
clearly starting
It was sent to me, and it's fun.
to jump up the stairs before
Yeah.
initiating the time skip, Polnareff...
Just
I
think
just
about
really
it,
like
then.
the style of this guy's
Previous
this
action,
person's
which was watching his
videos.
blood drip
He's
from his
very-
ankle.
he's
I'm
very
terribly
cute.
sorry, sir, but that still
He's very
doesn't make
cute
any
style.
sense.
Oh, boy.
If that were the case, then what about when Abakio got off the boat, sir? Case number 8, sir. He didn't want to get off the boat before the start of the time skip, but when the time skip was over, he was already on land. He made the decision to leave the boat during the time skip, so surely there's no such thing as going on autopilot just because time was skipped. Well, he stepped forward the instant before we see the time skip, so maybe he made the split-second decision to get off the boat right before the skip started. He doesn't make that step in the manga. Alright, if you claimed your precious manga is the definitive version of this universe, why don't you come up here and do this talk for me? Alright, maybe I will.
Okay.
I don't think the universe liked that one. Yeah, never mind. You're on your own.
I think we're asking the wrong question.
I need to stop you before you
I
touch
think the
yourself.
question we gotta be asking is, what did Diavolo see on Epitaph
I need
right
to stop
before
you before
stealing
you
Trish
touch
away?
yourself.
Well, he saw himself stealing
Before
Trish from
you
the elevator,
touch
obviously. He had to
yourself.
have, otherwise he wouldn't initiate the time skip in
I
the
could
first
be
place. So what was
here.
Bruno doing in Epitaph's vision? He must have been doing something.
I could touch
Whatever he was
myself
doing in
here.
Epitaph's vision was what he was thinking to do. Cause and effect dictates it has to have been absolutely anything. But he doesn't move an inch.
Bearman, I need to
The
stop you before you
explanation
touch
is Tom
yourself.
finished skipping, and Bruno just so happened to have been looking at the elevator wall in the exact same position he was before his companion was ripped from his side.
Finally
But what are
cooked
the
some
chances
rice
of that?
crackers.
Well, to be fair, the chances of that are rather higher than normal, since Diavolo looking at Epitaph's vision, as was previously established, inherently influenced.
I do like that in this image, Diavolo is look maxing.
Yes, he is.
I see.
You're stupid. I love
Dio
in
Giorno.
his
dumb
favor,
fucking
since he
adult.
has the ability to act in the most optimal way possible from it. Him looking at Epitaph's vision is how he can dodge all of Misa's
Grr,
bullets
I'm
in case
angry.
35 is an example. There you go. Now it all makes sense. Or his ability was conflated with the world's time stone. Oh, shut it. Hey, you tell me which outcome is more likely. The scene was written with all of that overbaked nonsense in mind, or it was a minor lapse of judgment in a story that never focused too hard on the minute details in the first place.
Bingo, it's that one.
What do you think is more important in a story? Following every single rule originally stated on page 1 of a long ongoing narrative, or delivering a cool scene where a companion is ripped away from under the protagonist's nose, allowing him to finally understand and confront the villain's motive and motivate him towards his true goal? Well, you may very well follow that train of logic, but I personally consider that a bit thought-terminating and like you're not willing to engage with the actual puzzle laid before us. We're not asking why the story was written this way. We're asking how this ability works based on the information
Okay,
we
tiny
were
dog.
given. Sounds a
But the information we were given contradicts itself.
bit like moving the goalposts to me. All right, I think we're done here. Thank you all for coming along. I hope you now all have a better understanding on how King Crimson works.
We don't.
We really don't. Okay, that was really fun. We're gonna watch more videos, but I need to go to the washroom.
Family Guy.
Goobers, do something.
Goobers.